What's got you down? At times, it can feel as though nothing ever seems to go right. Mistakes at work, failing an exam, arguments with a loved one, falling short of that goal you've worked so hard for. You're exhausted, unmotivated, overwhelmed, lost. It shows up in your body as tension, discomfort, stress, and impatience. For days like this, here are 4 things I want you to know. Feeling lost or sad aren't necessarily signs that your life is heading in the wrong direction. Sometimes they're indications of you becoming more present and aware of your reality. You're dissolving any past illusions that are left behind between who you should be and who you want to be. It's a little nudge from your inner self that something needs to change, and perhaps that you need to take a step back to reassess your priorities, your direction, your goals, and your values. Because in order to live your best life, you must take the time to really understand yourself. This means being honest about your strengths, weaknesses, fears, values, beliefs, goals, and aspirations. What do you really want out of life? What makes you happy? What brings you fulfillment? It's the answers to these questions that help you make informed decisions about where to turn your efforts to in life. But perhaps you're still unsure, and the current response is, I don't know. Well, that's okay too. Understanding purpose and passion is a continuous and ever-changing journey that doesn't just happen overnight. But what truly matters is that you're asking the questions, and that you're committed to finding the answers. Negative emotions are a natural and consistent part of the human experience. There's no shame in those emotions. Rather than trying your best to suppress and deny their existence, you slowly learn to validate these feelings. Recognizing how something or someone made you feel, being completely aware and conscious of the details and nuances of the situation provides you the opportunity and information so that you can properly manage these feelings and resolve the issues at the appropriate time in a safe environment, and ultimately use them as motivation to make a positive change in your life. We all have bad days, and we all experience sadness and pain, but we also have the power to choose how we respond to these feelings. And also, according to Google, we can also find random photos of dogs and landscapes to really help lift our spirits whenever we're in need of a pick-me-up. The relationships you have with everyone in your life is an extension of the relationship you hold with yourself. The thoughts that you have in your head hold the pen to writing the narrative of all your present and past experiences. This also means that at any time, any place, they can be rewritten, reshaped, and retold. Your thoughts hold the power to be your worst enemy or your loudest supporter. Take care of yourself, physically, mentally, by getting enough sleep, eating well, exercising regularly, and taking the time to do things that you enjoy. You're slowly cultivating and strengthening that relationship and bond that you have with yourself. Lastly, happiness is a cultivated internal positive mindset. It's not a destination or something external to you that you can just cling tightly onto. Much of life is in a constant state of change, constant state of flux. The world, your career, your friends, your parents, and even you. You recall how tightly you used to grip onto things that were fleeting, expecting them to bring you a sense of everlasting joy, but eventually you're greeted with disappointment and heartache. Just like our lows, the highs are also a temporary state of being. You remember that you used to confuse productivity as the same thing as happiness. If you could just accomplish that much more, you'll be that much more happier. But then you slowly begin to realize that so much of that feeling of happiness comes from within. It can never be achieved through external circumstances. Joy can be found in the present moment, even when things are difficult. You're not alone. You're strong, capable, and amazing. So take a deep breath. You're gonna be alright. You got this. Hey y'all, thank you so much for watching this week's video. So the spotlight comment for this week comes from Parika. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. In her comment, I loved how she shared about her relationship with perfection, and how eventually she realized that failure shouldn't be looked at as this thing you're trying to avoid, but rather it could be something like a good friend of yours who's trying to give you direction on where you went wrong and giving you a push so that you can become better. And by changing this concept and understanding that it takes failure for growth. It takes failure to become who you want to be. You can kind of release yourself from that toxicity of the grips of perfection. Additionally, one book that has been an incredibly helpful resource for me as I have learned more about my personal growth and trying to put it into words has been Brianna Wiest's book, 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think. In this book, she shares her own insights about a wide range of topics from mental health to productivity. So a lot of these ideas that I share are also found within these books. So I highly recommend picking up a copy of this book if you haven't. If you don't have the time or the resources, there's no worries, because throughout my next couple of videos, I'm going to slowly begin to share the valuable lessons and tools that I've taken away from the book and apply it kind of sort of to my life and sharing it out with everyone here. And so thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch everyone in the next video. See ya.